Maryam Reistana, I will say a few words about her. I was so busy with Sانفرانسیسکو Writers Conference that I didn't put everything together reading, but today I talked to her. She's a wonderful writer. She published a book, novel called Crystal City, correct? In Farsi. She's also a poet. She's a translator. She immigrated twice, one to France and one to United States 10 years ago? 14 years ago. So I knew her online. This is the first time I'm seeing her face to face. So I invited her and she graciously accepted the invitation. And here comes our Dena. Dena is another Iranian poet. So I will call Maryam to read her poems. Yes, thank you.
Okay, greetings to everyone. I'm very happy to be here. I come from the LA area at the invitation my dear poet friend Manaz Badehian. I hope tonight will be a memorable experience for all of us. But before reading my poem, I would like to speak a few minutes about women life freedom movement. Well, tonight I stand here not just to read a few lines of poetry, but to pay tribute to a voice that never be silenced. Even if buried in silence, it will rise again, a voice that even after brutal crackdowns over the past 4 years, still echoes through quiet streets, in muted screams, and in hopeful gazes. Woman, life, freedom is not just a slogan, it's a cry born from the depth of pain and resistance. A cry that does not arise from anger, but from faith in the beauty of humanity. These 3 simple words carry the stories of thousands of unfinished lives, stories written with courage, endured with love, and kept alive with hope. This movement reminds us that life is not merely about eating, sleeping, and making love. Life means living under the light of equality, human dignity, and freedom for all people. And freedom means the right to choose, the right to have a voice. Women, life, freedom showed us that the women and men who died standing did so not just for themselves, but for humanity, for generations yet to come, but will inherit the legacy of courage from last generation. Tonight, I dedicate these words to all the women and men who lit a candle in the heart of darkness, to all those who to all those who shouted their dreams even when they knew no one might hear their voice. This poem is not just my words. It is the echo of those voices who fought for their right to live, for their right to be free. I will read my poem, but I know no poem will ever be as vast as the truths that they lived. It will never become, for they were the poem themselves, for they are the high essence of poetry themselves. Now I will read my poem. The title is Time to Become a Woman, translated by Mrs. Mojde Bahar. It's time to become a woman. On the first day, I was a plant, I admit. My whistles took roots in the soil. A 1,000-year-old palm tree. It stands in the golden sands of ancient Persia, stocky and sturdy, at the heart of Mesopotamia of Persia. The moon was planting fruits on my lap. It is time to become a woman, sprung from valor, with 1,000 seeds in my heart. Now, here, the sunlight of suns on my lap. Now, here, the moonlight of daughters in my tresses. This chaotic and delirious story, why doesn't it quiet down here? Why? Many a skirt torn, many tresses cut. Wrath replaced the soul, hate replaced the eyes, blood splattered on fragile hopes. Now, the woman condemned with half a wit, with half an inheritance, vanguard of every myth of freedom, with warrior tresses, each strand like an army. Toppled the world of ignorance and insanity. Now, stone by stone, cliff by cliff, the sound of mountain range is hers. Now, not drop by drop, but the constant roar of the river, the sound of sea is hers. And the storm beneath her feet escapes from history with the love of freedom, like the very first day, with 1,000 roots in fist. It's time to become a freedom. It's time to become freedom. Thank you very much. But let me explain a point in a verse. I mentioned that now the woman, or the women, condemned with half a wit and half an inheritance. In the Islamic law, a woman is considered half of a man in terms of intellect and inheritance. For example, when an estate is divided as an inheritance, a son receives twice the share of a daughter. Or, in the court, two women must testify about the same matter for the judge to accept their testimony. Thank you very much.